Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are covering something that we've talked about, I think, in the past, but today we're going to a very extreme extent, and that is talking about shaft weight. And Ian, what do we got so far?
So I'll be specifically talking drivers here. TPT are the shaft company we've chosen to use here. They do run shafts from a 14 series all the way up to 21, which gives us a 40 gram separation, actually 42 in this case. So what we want to dive into is a little bit, how does that influence delivery? How does it influence ball flight? We're going to do it in a little bit of a unique way because we're going to take the data off the screen. So we're literally just going to have a target as if I'm on the range, right? Not really knowing. It's kind of the way we do test when we're on the range. And when you're in the test environment, you've got the numbers and you can be reactive to it. We don't want that. We want to see if we can extract the true differences that someone might make if they go from one extreme to another. And that can be in swing, that can be in deflection with the golf club itself. But ultimately, there's someone out there that's trying to maneuver a strike position or raise spin or dynamic loft or whatever it is. And I think this could lead them towards maybe something that could help them.
Yeah, I think that I find in many cases, or in some cases when you're working with a golfer on a launch monitor, that it almost becomes like the video gamification of what they're trying to do. So they see a number and they're trying to change it. Where in reality, a lot of times when it comes to a fitting, we just want the golfer to react to the react to the clubs that we're giving you, and we will help interpret the numbers. As someone who's hitting the shots, your goal is to interpret the feel.
Definitely.
Right? Does it work for your timing? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? All of those things are factors that we can help control on our side as fitters, but we want to know how it feels for you.
Definitely. So in any case, in any environment, someone's going into a pro shop or a big box store. Normally the difference in shaft weight that they'll be offered will be around 15 grams, high to low. Probably something around low 50s up to, maybe mid to high 60s. That's the extreme of it. We've taken this to a totally different extreme. We have shaft grip tip combo, right? The 14 low shaft is 142 grams combined. That's 50 in the grip, that's 86 here, and the tip is about 8. And then we've got the 21 high, which is 45 grams. So there's a big difference. As I say, we've tested differences in weight before, never to this extreme. So we've chosen the Stealth. We're going to try and standardize everything around it. The length, the head, the settings, the weight configuration. We're changing nothing about that. So standardizing it so we can purely look at the dynamics of the shaft and what's at play here. So
I guess we're going to dive into the numbers now and let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
Very straight.
Yeah, I got it a little thin, but it was a decent one.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the lower strike there, we're still under, right around 2,500.
Better strike there, RB. Probably at a slightly lower ball speed, but
there's definitely, again, we've talked about the Stealth before already. It's there's definitely a noticeable difference when you get that shot that's a little higher. Right, it's still very stable, and I mean, you saw that there with that one. That's a good one there.
Yeah.
Is that a little lower on the face again?
It's okay. That was pretty centered, that one. I'm not looking when that screen pops up. I'm looking that way. I don't want to see these numbers. I'll try not to be influenced. I'll try and make 5 good swings at a time. We'll rotate, make another 5 good swings.
Now we do know that this obviously, you can tell this is the heavier one. But we're looking at trying to understand the delivery and how it really impacts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be honest, if I didn't know this was 86 grams, I'd be telling you I feel really good with it right now. I like the weight, which is weird because like we just said, I'm a 50-something gram driver guy. So I don't know why I'm enjoying this so much right now, but it feels like I could stand up here and hit you 8 out of 10 just like that last one, which is not a feeling I get on the tee too often. Again, that was a miss, RB, but as I say, I feel like I could stand and hit a bunch of these for you.
That didn't sound like a miss. Like, I'm really curious where the strike it shows on this.
Low.
Little low.
Yeah.
So we saw the spin go up a little bit
Little
there.
bit, but it managed it well. I mean, again, is that we'd need to run different heads? Is that, you know, this nano texture in the face? Who knows? But that's a pretty low spinner coming out of. Okay, I went from big boy shaft into what feels like junior flex. I mean, this thing feels, the camera can sort of get that. There's some serious deflection to this boy.
It's important to point out too, like, obviously shaft weight plays a big role in a lot of the flex and the materials used and all those different things. But unlike steel, which is like homogeneous, so it's used the material all the way throughout, companies can use different materials and different wraps and different styles of using that graphite to stiffen up something that's very light. It's not as easy to make something that's 45 grams extremely stiff, but you can still have it controllable.
Yeah, exactly. If it's your goal to do so, you definitely can. You're right. There are so many sort of modern materials now that are very light but exceptionally strong, and it's just your choice for how you want the sort of the part to play. This one is designed for their like high launch, soft, you know, to give some kick to the players who maybe don't have the swing speed to get it out of a standard off the rack shaft. So I'm really fascinated to this one to see if we start seeing some, you know, kick, if we start losing the dispersion. I wouldn't have hit 5 straighter drives in my life than I just hit with that 14 low. So this is going to be interesting to see if this is just a good day or, you know, if that weight really is what's holding my timing together.
All right, let's get into it. Is the lighter shaft going to bring the water into play here?
Felt faster, that's for sure.
Do you feel like from the start that you have to do anything to change your tempo or change the way you load the shaft, or what is your feel on that once you get it like kind of over the ball?
I don't quite know yet. I'm still figuring out where. Like down here, it feels quite nice. I'm more than aware one of my issues is getting a little laboured in the first half of the backswing. I know for me, like the more I can sort of feel like I'm, you know, pulling that chain of that you know, lawnmower, trying to start that lawnmower. For me, I mean, as slow as it looks, I'm trying to actively feel like it's, you know, it's got a bit of that kind of, you know, heft to the takeaway. I can feel like I can do that with this one.
Okay.
So maybe it's up here that I feel like I'm trying to find it a little bit more in transition.
Okay.
So.
Still a good line to the green from there. I would say the one important thing that I think a lot of golfers misunderstand when we talk about swing weight is the difference between swing weight and static weight. Yeah. Because there are golfers who are going to react very differently from a static weighted driver that might be heavy or light versus a driver that is swing weight heavy or light. Because you can make a lightweight shaft driver swing weight out very heavy.
Definitely, yeah. Like you say, I often see you say in your Q&As, you can trick the scale. Yeah, you can do it. You can completely add a bunch of weight up to the head, and you know you're still 40 grams under the total weight, but the swing weight, the you know on the fulcrum, it's heavier on the head side, or lighter, whatever it may be, but you can trick it.
Yeah, and it's the same like if you have a really heavy shaft, you can put a big grip on it or use some type of counterweight system. Next thing you know, you got a driver that's under D. It could be into the C's of swing weight, but it's still, you know, you pick that thing up and you hold it in the middle, it's noticeably heavier than one that is lighter. So
felt like a decent one.
Get over those trees. Trees are 90% air.
Did we make it through?
Sure did.
No, not a great strike. Okay, let's do one more set with each RB.
All right.
Still don't want to know.
Yep.
Okay, so put this back in the hands. Yes, this is substantial again. I didn't notice it the first time because I hadn't had a reference point. Now I went heavy, light, back to heavy. This does feel different. wasn't my best RB, but kind of feels like the ones I do hit with this one that I don't quite get. It just feels like another one of those. I definitely think wall thickness in the shaft affects acoustics. No doubt about that. An 86 gram shaft versus a 45, the wall thickness is going to be significant enough that it transmits the sound through that very differently. I've always kind of felt that way.
I think an example, like a really good example, would be the wasn't out for a long time, was the PXV.
Yeah,
I remember when that was
Project X.
launched, it was sub 40 grams.
Yeah.
And it definitely performed, like it did what it was supposed to do, like offer a very lightweight, stable shaft. But the biggest feedback, and I think that was one of the drawbacks of it as they were kind of evolving that lightweight product line, was it didn't feel very good on miss hits because there was that acoustic element of extremely thin walls. It's why people like, when you go to heavyweight steel, even if it doesn't fit somebody very well, they usually like it because it sounds solid. Whereas the vibrations on something that might be the pitch of that sound doesn't sound quite as thwacky or solid. So there's certainly a difference there. Nice.
That was a good one. I know it's a little left, but I did hit it solid.
Running out of fairway. Oh, almost there. You look like you timed that one really well.
Yeah, I just feel like I can with this thing. I just feel like I can kind of time most of them pretty good. Like I say, it feels like an 8 out of 10 club to me. Okay.
All right, back to the light one now.
10 heavy, done. The hard work is done.
Yeah. Gotta hold that one.
Felt like it had a little different gear in that one. It's definitely harder with this thing, there's no doubt about it.
A lot of questions you could ask is like, how much does the shaft influence, right? A lot of times it's more so, not necessarily even the dynamics of impact, it's what the weight or the profile will affect the player.
It's the player, always. The club that normally wins is the club that has the most positive effect on the golf swing. Generally, that's how it plays out. You know, it feels like it can be in the right places at the right time. It feels like it loads correctly, and you can kind of get in sync with it. If you're having a battle with it, you know, you're going to just be kind of, you know, dueling with one another back and forward. Yeah, it's always the way it goes, definitely.
Cool, so we got a couple more here with the light, and then we're going to take a look at the data. We found another fairway.
Mm-hmm. That was okay.
Oh,
Cart path.
here we are.
Cart path hop. Right, well, we got one more. Well, at least I finished with a half decent one with a light one.
Well, we said we might run out of fairway, and you did on that one. So, all right, let's take a look here.
I mean, I'm looking across the standard deviations here. The heavy, stiffer one wins everywhere.
Yeah.
On the club delivery, this is maybe where the sort of, we get to have a little bit of fun with it, the dynamics. More dynamic loft, more droop, and more kick outward. That's the one that people, I don't think, realize. Most people know that in upward deflection from the loft, as the CG is trying to align with the shaft CG, most people know that the head is heavier than the shaft, so it will force it downward. There is downforce in that. Most people don't realize if you want a more into-out path, a softer shaft can help with that. That's a cool one.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And like, I know we talked about it while you were hitting shots, like the feel and just your timing. It does go to show, like, are you going to fit into something that is close to 80 grams? Probably not likely, but you really could, right? If you're looking to hit more fairways and if that's your main goal, you're seeing it there. You're not maximizing ball speed, but there's potential. Like, I bet you somewhere in the middle there's a shaft that's going to be perfect for you.
I mean, if you're doing that fit and you're looking at me at the end of that, you're going, by body language and alone, I'm reading you that you loved the 14 low. You were kind of enjoying some of the good ones with the 21 high. When it was good, it was good. When it was bad, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And that's this red circle, isn't it? I mean, that variance it's no good to anyone, especially when there's no pickup. There's just too much variance. Now, I'm sure the longest one, where did the longest one occur? There was some good ones there, like, 164 ball speed, last one 165. It did feel a bit quicker.
We'll take out the cart path one.
Yeah, what was that? Was that the cart path
So
one?
they believe there was the cart. Yeah, there was the outlier was caused by the cart path.
Okay. But other than that, yes, you're going to take that much, much, much tighter range. I mean, look at it's unheard of for me to only miss, one fairway by more than 20 yards. That's literally unheard of. This is a nice circle of shots. But this is hopefully, guys, an eye opener. I would say, again, this is, I guess, relative. I don't feel like I'm a great driver of the golf ball. Arcos tells me I'm okay driver of the golf ball. If you feel like you're a very good driver of the golf ball, you maybe want to go towards something lighter, something softer, and have a little play around. Yeah. Get that loft down a little bit. I was playing that 8-degree stealth, turned down to 7 there. That got me in a dynamic loft window where I'm really comfortable, 16 to 17, where I really, really like it. But if you're a good driver of the golf ball and you probably hit 12 or 14 fairways, sometimes maybe hit them all, go have a run at it. I would encourage people to go and have a run at it if you feel like you are an overachiever off the tee. There's something to be gained. I mean, in the same respect, I wouldn't go for it. 5 miles an hour is not nothing.
If you're playing a wide open golf course where you don't feel like, there's a lot of trouble out there in the driving areas or the landing areas, regardless of how far you're actually hitting it, you don't really want to discount gaining extra speed.
Definitely. No, this was good. I'm glad we've done this, RB. I enjoy these ones. This is a day in the life of a fitter right here. Getting the chance to try things with players, see what works, see what helps them. Obviously see what doesn't work with them. That kind of filter process, and that's why we take the time that we do. A driver fit in here is a good solid hour. Because we could go through it faster if we just wanted to get a driver that's a little bit better. But we want to exhaust the options. We want to try new things. Sometimes club fitting is played within the safe space of standard grips and 65-gram shafts and 45-inch drivers. That's not always the way it should be. We should be curious enough to step outside our comfort zone sometimes, especially if we have the knowledge that things like this can help in subtle areas like this, dispersion or ball speed in this case.
It's always really important to know, when we talk about what we're looking for in a driver fitting or whatever kind of fitting that it is, right? You can take it to that point. Our goal is to try and get to that point where a player is really surprised by the results because they've tried something they wouldn't have necessarily tried before, whether it be a head or a shaft or a length. All of those things together can create a performance advantage that we're always looking for. And this goes to show, as you said, 4 miles an hour is not anything to stick your nose up at. And if you could figure out the right head, maybe tune in the adjustable weighting on the bottom of the driver, next thing you know, everything's a little bit tighter and 10 yards, 15 yards further out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'd all take it if we could get it. Guys, down the line, one thing I'd like to take this a stage further with, I really want to start applying strokes gained to this when we do these tests. I've got a kind of little idea in mind that we could do some cool stuff. The guys at Arcos have some really cool data on strokes gained, and I think strokes gained belongs in the fitting bay as much as it belongs in the golf course, RB. I think if we can start to equate not just yards, but strokes to how much we expect someone to improve, I think that would speak higher volumes than saying that they're going to gain a few yards here or a little bit of dispersion there. And hopefully that means you guys are shooting lower scores. Ultimately, that's what this stuff's all about. And whether, as we always say, you're a player trying to gain an advantage, a fitter trying to gain a little bit of knowledge towards helping your clientele, whatever it is, tests like this are valuable in order to start thinking about other ways to apply technology. Guys, really appreciate you watching this. More fun videos like this where we can dive into the kind of technicalities of club fitting. I think we've got a few good ones up our sleeve in the next little while.
Got some fun ones, and I think how this applies to different swing speeds too is something that we're going to dive into a little bit more, because we're all over 100 miles an hour, but not everyone's swinging that way, and I think we're going to really showcase how that makes a difference.
Love it. Okay, stay tuned for that. We'll see you again soon.